Hello, I am Jennifer Igwe, and on behalf of the Newsline crew and with great pleasure, I welcome you to the first edition of the program in year 2024. Yes. And week one has been quite eventful in year 2024, the world over, don't you think? Now, that said, many of us are still basking in the euphoria of the new year with memories of the Yuletide lingering. Some on the other hand, are still making lists of promises and targets for the new year. We have features on them. Now, you'll get to see amazing cultural events and activities that will keep you on the edge of your seat. From the Igwe Festival of Thanksgiving in Edo State to the Bade Gashua Carnival in Yobe State, rooted in rare and indigenous culture. A unique tea vendor igniting the love for tea in Maiduguri has caught our attention, and you need to find out why. Then the shocking viral video of a 54-year-old man who allegedly took a 4-year-old on a lifelong marital journey is certainly a case of the unexpected with expected reactions and consequences. We have an update and more facts on the unholy union. We have other love stories worth celebrating and unions with loads of happy forever prayers in line. Okay? Now let's set the ball rolling as we join Claire Adelabu Abdurazak in Abuja for the news segment. Claire, nice to see you on this first edition of Newsline in year 2024.
Takes the issues most seriously. Now, the federal government, under the leadership of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the minister says, is transparent and accountable to the people and committed to ensuring that public funds are allocated and utilized effectively and efficiently too to address the needs of Nigerians. The government, he says, is determined to unravel the truth as it relates to the matter, adding that appropriate action will be taken to ensure that any breaches and infractions are identified and decisively punished in line with the administration's commitment to public accountability and due process. The minister advised the public to note that against the backdrop of various unverified narratives circulating on the internet, the Ministry of Information and National Orientation is the primary source for verified information about events and actions of the federal government of Nigeria, and only accurate details will be shared with the public. The ministry, the statement says, is committed to providing timely updates to keep Nigerians informed about the process of the investigation. It urges Nigerians to exercise patience as the investigation unfolds. The government, Mohammed Idris says, is focused on ensuring a fair and unbiased process, and the findings will be communicated duly and transparently to the public. 33 presiding officers of the parliaments of 25 countries have converged on Kampala, Uganda, for the 27th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth. The four-day conference, declared open by President Yoweri Museveni of the Republic of Uganda, is focusing on the environment and climate change, diverse and inclusive parliaments, security for parliaments, and the role of speakers and presiding officers in building consensus for parliamentary business. Nigeria's Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barau Jibrin, who was represented by the Chairman of the Senate Committee on Interparliamentary Affairs, Senator Jimo, presented a paper during a special plenary session titled building consensus for parliamentary business, the role of speakers and presiding officers. Setting the tone for the discussion on how best to build consensus for rank-of-free parliaments, flexibility of the parliament to accommodate diverse opinions, which many parliamentarians at the conference says is the hallmark of the legislature. The paper advocates enhancement of social capital networking between presiding officers and other lawmakers to strengthen the parliament. Contributors from other Commonwealth countries who express opinion on the themes described the role of presiding officers as a complex tapestry woven from order, fairness, consensus, and leadership. Now, implementation of the federal government's discounted fares for travelers during the holidays has been described by passengers as a huge relief from exorbitant hike in the cost of transportation during the festive season. Now, Joel Bukwoda reports that more than 15,000 beneficiaries at the popular Jibo Park in Lagos expressed the hope that the initiative will be sustained.
Park is one of the most preferred parks for long-distance travels, with buses available day and night to convey passengers to any part of the country. While day one of the discount implementation witnessed a lull, the few days thereafter witnessed unprecedented influx of passengers due to more awareness and consciousness that traveling for the festive season will be at a subsidized rate of 50%, courtesy of the federal government. The premises of the selected transport companies became the center of attraction, with many struggling to cope with the influx of passengers.
A lot of them wouldn't have been traveled if not for the 50% from the government. It really encouraged them to travel.
It helped many people, but they did not finish it. I thought it would continue. They stopped it. They're supposed to continue to help us.
No, this is good, because some people, they know how plan to travel. Before, they travel with a small chicken money.
Yes, I can say that the discount is very nice.
To nip some of the challenges that occurred during the period of the discount, in the board, stakeholders emphasized need for better planning and a standard price for all selected companies to avert sharp practices.
They should extend it to all other companies so that everybody will get this opportunity.
The passengers want the selected transport companies to improve their customer relations, while government representatives should be present at the park to ensure each free operation. In Lagos, Joel Bukwola, NTA News.
And meanwhile, the federal government is also receiving commendations from beneficiaries of the free train service in Kaduna, and our correspondent Dada Mohammed reports that residents say the extension by the federal government is a welcome development.
The Rigasa train station in Kaduna is a beehive of activities with multitude of passengers disembarking after benefiting from the last free train ride from Abuja to Kaduna.
Most people are taking advantage of this golden opportunity to take the last free ride, especially students who are soon to resume to school.
I've been thinking of how to raise the money to travel, only for me to hear that it has been extended. I was really happy.
We, the students, we are based on allowances, and please, I'm begging the federal government should be cheaper for us.
For those embarking on the last free train service to Abuja from Kaduna, the gesture by the federal government has made their travel back to their places of work and school much easier after extension of the deadline.
We came and it's free. I'm happy. May God bless the company, the workers and everything, and Mr. President, honestly.
It's a very kind gesture. I hope the government will try to always make this, this platform and this opportunity available to Nigerians.
Few minutes after departure of the train, Rigasa train station, once bustling with people peddling their goods and passengers coming and going, is now a quiet, deserted space waiting for the next train to arrive. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
And from Ibadan, Grace Anyoleke reports that commuters of all ages also benefited from the 18-day exercise.
From the first class coach to the business and economy class coaches, the free train exercise initiated by the President Bola Tinubu-led administration, the people say, is a step in the right direction as they wish for more.
We are wishing for more of it and more of another thing.
I would like to thank President Tinubu for providing this experience for me and my family to enjoy.
With the level of success recorded on the exercise, however, suggestions for improvements on future exercise were preferred.
Booking of the tickets for the free home, I think they should just use their discretion when people come on first come, first serve.
As paid trips get set to resume operations, the Nigerian Railway Corporation Ibadan hopes for continued patronage.
With this free ticket that happened for 18 days and has to be mainly online booking, I think with this exercise, I'm expecting to see an increase in the number of people that will embrace the platform.
This train, IL04 Ibadan Lagos, makes the last free train ride this season, all thanks to the President Bola Tinubu-led government from Ibadan. Grace Ayoleke, NTA News.
All right, thank you, Grace Ayoleke, for that report. Let's turn our attention to other stories now. And operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja in Lagos, has intercepted a consignment of Colorado, a very strong strain of cannabis concealed in boxing kits imported from the United States of America. Deborah Bala-Bubu compiled operations recorded by the NDLEA since January this year.
Intelligence-led operations to get the receiver arrested was consummated on Saturday, 6 January, following the successful tracking and arrest of 38-year-old Olorunfumi Saheed Olakunle, who distributes the dangerous psychoactive substance to dealers across Lagos State. The consignment had arrived to the country on Monday, 1st January, via Cairo on Egypt Airlines flight marked as boxing kits. Meanwhile, a 28-year-old female supplier of ammunition to bandits, Bilikisu Suleiman, came top on the list of 12 other suspects arrested by NDLEA operatives in New Year interdiction operations in Kaduna, Lagos, Niger, Kogi, Kano, Borno, and Osun states. Bilikisu was arrested on Wednesday, 3rd January, by NDLEA officers on patrol along Zaria-Kano Expressway in possession of 249 rounds of 7.62 live ammunition concealed in a black nylon bag kept in her lady's handbag. She was on her way to deliver the ammunition to an identified bandit in Kakumi village, Katsina State, while she was nabbed, after which she was transferred to the Kaduna State Command of the Nigerian Police Force for further investigation. The military authorities at the Bonny Camp cantonment in Lagos on Tuesday, 2nd January, transferred the suspect, Francis Suru, 37, and 63 jumbo bag of Ghana Loud, a strain of cannabis weighing 2,104.2 kilograms, and a truck to the Lagos State Command of the NDLEA. In the same vein, NDLEA operatives in Niger State on Thursday, 5th January, during a stop-and-search operation along Suleja-Kaduna Road, intercepted a J5 bus coming from Ondo State to Zaria, Kaduna State, with 23 bags of cannabis sativa weighing 219.5 kilograms. Two suspects, Umar Musa, 26, and Issa Churu Abubakar, were arrested in connection with the seizure, while a female drug trafficker, Queen Onyema, 27, was arrested on Saturday, 6 January, in a commercial bus en route Abuja along Okene-Lokoja Expressway with 12 compressed blocks of cannabis weighing 4.6 kilograms, 0.046 kilogram designer drugs concealed in an Indomie carton. Another suspect, Mubarak Sani, 20, was nabbed at Gadam Tamburawa area of Kano on Monday, 1st January, with 445.9 kilograms of the same psychoactive substance. In Borno, 4 suspects, Zana Alhaji Dala, 32, Musa Umar, 21, Mushi Ibrahim, 23, and Shehu Idris, 19, were arrested at Pomfomari bypass area of the state with 60 kilograms of cannabis. Also in Oshun, NDLA operatives on Monday, 1st January, intercepted a consignment of illicit drugs sent through Waybill from Lagos to Oshogbo. A follow-up operation led to the arrest of Ibrahim Olawole, 43. NDLA commands across the 36 states and the FCT equally continued their war against drug abuse sensitization lectures in schools, communities, workplaces, and others. Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Bubar Marwa, retired, commended the efforts of the operatives and charged them to continue to remain vigilant and double their efforts in the new year. And from Osun State, Governor Senator Demola Adeleke has appealed to workers to remain committed to productivity and efficiency in the new year 2024, promising to redouble efforts to take Osun to enviable heights. Adeleke made the appeal during the 2024 inter-religious prayers held at the governor's office in Oshogbo. Here is Femi Afariogun with a report.
It is the beginning of another year. Workers, religious leaders, and traditional rulers are here to commit the year into God's hands. Various religious leaders led prayers for more development and progress of Osun State. Governor Ademola Adeleke said his government succeeded through God's grace in the year 2023, despite challenges.
We have grand ambition to take Osun to greater heights. I trust that with God and people, we shall achieve our lofty goals and agenda.
The Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Abdulrasheed Akobi, who commended the various developmental projects of the governor, assured him of continued support from traditional rulers.
The driver of the state, who is the governor, that God should guide him and give him the wisdom to be more successful in his office.
I want to advise everybody in Osun State that we should work hand in hand with the governor to make Osun State a paradise on earth.
Workers expressed confidence in Governor Adeleke, saying the new year will be a rewarding one for all. In Oshogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is celebrating with business titan Ambassador Gilbert Chagore as he marks his birthday on January the 8th. In a statement, the President appreciates Ambassador Chagore's consistency and reliability demonstrated throughout his storied career, noting his desire to see Nigeria's rise to the heights in all spheres of human endeavor. The President recalls how the Chagore family kept faith with Africa's largest economy by continually investing in various projects and philanthropic activities over the decades. Irrespective of all the socio-political challenges that characterized the road to the nation's return to civilian rule in 1999 and beyond. Similarly, President Bola Tinubu celebrates the executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, Dr. Zach Adedeji, as he marks his birthday on Monday, January 8th. The President extols the qualities of the young first-class graduate of accounting, whom he says steadily rose through the ranks in public service by dint of hard work and loyalty and competence, noting his service as the Commissioner of Finance in Oyo State at the age of 33, and now Chief Executive Officer of the nation's apex tax authority. As an innovator who consistently turns his creative ideas into change-making actions, the President is confident that he will reform Nigeria's tax and wishes him more strength and zeal in the discharge of his duties. Mr. President is also felicitating with the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Malam Mele Kyari, as he marks his birthday. The President commends the diligence, passion, and expertise the foremost geologist brings to task as one of the longest tenured chief executives in the history of Africa's most valuable energy company. His ability to diagnose complicated problems with thoughtful and pragmatic solutions, the president notes, has created a path for him to continue rendering valuable service to our nation. President Tinubu praised Almighty Allah to grant the business executive more wisdom and strength in his service to Nigeria. Let's take a break now and join our sports desk for some sports stories.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria intensified their preparations for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations by recording an emphatic 12-0 whitewash of an Abu Dhabi-based club in a test match played Sunday. Ademola Lookman netted 4 goals, with Victor Osimhen and Moses Simon bagging a braceage, while Sadiq Umar and Ahmed Musa got their names on the goalscorers list. Up next for the Eagles is a friendly encounter with the Guinean national team on Monday, after which they will return to Nigeria for their final preparation. Back home, Anekeme Okon netted a brace as leaders Remo Stars recorded a 2-0 win over Sunshine Stars of Akure in a southwestern derby on March the 17th of the Nigeria Premier Football League on Sunday. Ayimba International also claimed a win of the same margin over Sporting Lagos, with Kano Pillars beating Plateau United 2-1. In other results, Lobby Stars ran out 2-0 winners against Kwara United. Niger Tornadoes beat Heartland 3-2, while Gombe United and Rivers United settled for a 1-0 draw. In England, Kevin De Bruyne made an assist on his injury return, while Phil Foden struck twice as holders Manchester City thrashed Huddersfield 5-0 in the FA Cup third round. In other results, Nottingham Forest and Blackpool played 2-2. It was goalless between Luton Town and Bolton, with West Ham United and Bristol City settling for a 1-0 draw. And finally, Rafael Nadal has confirmed that he has pulled out of this month's Australian Open due to a muscle tear, but says it is a different injury to the one which kept him out for a year. The 37-year-old had made his comeback this month at the Brisbane International after a year out due to hip flexor injury that ultimately required surgery. With Nadal's withdrawal, this will be the first Australian Open since 1999 without either Nadal or Roger Federer, who retired in 2022, featuring in the men's singles main draw. With sports update, Bade Adeleye, NTA News.
And the losing streak continues for us now. Hard luck. President Bola Tinubu says he received the news of the passing of one of Nigeria's finest football coaches, Sebastian Broderick Simaswe, with a heavy heart. Broderick Simaswe, a footballer turned coach, led Nigeria's Golden Eaglets to victory at the inaugural FIFA Under-16 World Championship in China in 1985. President Tinubu celebrates the football icon, whom he says brought hope and inspired national pride by his industry, devotion and diligence on and off the pitch, describing him as a true Nigerian hero. The president sympathizes with the Maswen family, the football community, the government of Edo State, and all those who mourn the loss, while praying for the repose of the soul of the dearly departed.
From the boardroom at the Broad Street.
Hello and glad to have you join us on the weather forecast. We start off Monday with patches of clouds in a hazy atmosphere to the southern parts of the country. Later during the day, there are chances of isolated thunderstorms to parts of Lagos, Ondo, Ogun and Bayelsa states. Other parts of the country are expected to remain sunny and hazy. For the air quality index, most parts of the country shows unhealthy air, although we begin to see the yellow coloration, which shows moderate air quality. That's all for the forecast. I am Theodora Itum. Thank you for watching.
And just before we go, let's remind you again of the alleged transfer of funds to a private account. And we brought you a report that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed that a thorough and comprehensive investigation be conducted to ascertain the accuracy and validity of the allegations that the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation directed the payment of funds into private accounts. Now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in a statement to address the widespread information, acknowledges the concerns raised by the public and assures that the government takes the issues most seriously. Now, the minister says the federal government, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is transparent and accountable to the people and committed to ensuring that public funds are allocated and utilized effectively and efficiently to address the needs of Nigerians. The minister also advised the public to note that against the backdrop of various unverified narratives circulating on the internet, the Ministry of Information and National Orientation is the primary source for verified information about events and actions of the federal government of Nigeria, and only accurate details will be shared with the public. The minister also urges Nigerians to exercise patience as investigation unfolds. The government, Mohammed Idris says, is focused on ensuring a fair and unbiased process, and the findings will be communicated duly and transparently to the public. That ends the news from here in Abuja. Jennifer will be on in just a moment after the commercials.
From the boardroom at the broad streets in Lagos to the main streets of Kano and name.
Now, Igwe Festival of Thanksgiving, synonymous with Benin's, heralds the new year. The Igwe Festival is like no other in the Edo Kingdom. Within it are rare various festivals with their symbolic differences. Anwuli Okolo in this report brings us highlights of some of the activities of this year's Igwe Festival.
The Holy Arosa Cathedral is the Oba's destination after every outing to give praise to God and his ancestors. To round off a successful Igwe festival, the Omonoba Nedo Ukwapolopolo Oba Ewire II and members of his household are in church. The two-week-long event, which had various high points from the appointments of chiefs to the Ugie Mobo and to the Ugie, where there was no dull moment. This is a gathering of chiefs and their families. They are in the palace to pay homage, show solidarity and appreciation for getting installed into the Oba's cabinet of chiefs. Some of them here have been elevated to higher ranks. Then to Ugemobo, a ceremonial ritual to ward off evil spirits and unwholesome occurrences from the land. The Oba went round the city touching different symbolic points, all the while customarily holding and striking the ancestral ivory gong. This leaf is called the Ewe leaf. It is believed to be a magical leaf with abilities to bring peace and prosperity to the Benin people. Its history dates back to Obaiware I. It was a cultural reawakening for many who had not had such an experience in a long time.
It was very great. Since I've been watching it around all the ring road, it was amazing.
It's equivalent to 1st January of the year. So it's the beginning of another new year.
Ewele Festival connotes the three P's: peace,
prosperity, and progress.
We are all happy. It was really wonderful. All to the glory of God.
The particular part of Igwe I love very well is the Ugewewe, which is a symbol of joy, the symbol of love, the symbol of blessings, and the symbol of prayer.
Well, it went so well. It was so nice. We are happy with the celebration.
Once you are an Edo man, follow the culture. When you follow the culture, there will be improvement, there will be development.
With thanksgiving on the lips of the Oba of Benin and his people, the year 2024 is one being looked upon with anticipation of the manifestation of the various pronouncements and blessings of the Oba upon his people.
Now, such cultural events show that even our forefathers understood the importance of Thanksgiving. Now, it was a celebration rare and beautiful in Gashua Bade Emirate in Yobe State, as members of the community adorned in carnival costumes came out en masse to celebrate their own. It was a festival rooted in indigenous culture, scarcely pictured, and of course, Hamis Rogo was there, so we have it. Over to you, Hamis Rogo.
The Palace of Bade in Geshua has turned in the celebration mode, and believe me, they know how to celebrate. It has been an elaborate and relentless celebration that includes dances, songs, and in fact, daba. But then, these events are a precursor to a grander event that is supposed to come in the next 3 to 4 days.
It is not a celebration ambiguous. It is one that is bearing with the heritage of the people and has meaning and history. Of peculiar interest to me is this elders' dance. They call it Rawat Danaba na Dugum. It exists only in Bade Emirate. In the old Kanem Borno, these elders are representatives of various wards and clans in their communities. They have authority over their various circles. They still exist in modern times, but with no power, no authority. But they gave homage to authority nonetheless. They constitute a unique entertainment group that stand out because of their difference. For those with knowledge of history, they bring back memories of time past. Incidentally, there are women group too who perform similar dance, but their story is different. They are an entertainment group whose art or practice dates back to the years of the empire. Their leader, who leads the procession, is called Magi. They have value in culture, entertainment, and history of Bade Emirate. For the people who trace their heritage to ancient Kanem Borno, nothing hypnotized like the sound of Ganga Kura, the big drum. It is the official palace music that is significant for Daba routine, for homage, and for horsemanship. Communities in the circle of Kanem Borno are as horsemen, and no celebration is complete there without a Daba. Ultimately, the celebration is to usher a massive empowerment program to the people of Bade Emirate and Yobenos generally.
Indeed, we have diverse cultural celebrations. Now we go to a different part of the country. A Karamo hometown of the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Senator Heineken Lukobri, was agog on New Year's Eve as the people hosted their illustrious sons. Anya Pressy, who was there for Newsline, says the carnival-like reception was also an opportunity for the people to deeply appreciate President Bola Tinubu for finding their son worthy of the appointment.
It is the desire and prayers of families and communities to have their sons and daughters in positions of responsibility to positively impact society. This explains the joy of the people of Ikirimo community, headquarters of Ikirimo local government area of Bayelsa State, as they hosted their illustrious son, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Oil, Senator Heineken Lukobri, to a grand reception in glitz and styles. The Riverside community settled along the bank of River Ramos wore the look of a festive mood, and the arrays of wrappers displayed in flag form around the community, awakening the memories of the just cultural symbol of festivity and welcoming great people to their communities. Chairman of the occasion and former acting Director General of the DSS, Mr. Mantu Seyefa, who is also a son of the soil, and others in their remarks, including former Governor-elect of Bayelsa State, Chief David Lyon, deeply appreciated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for appointing their son, whom they describe as someone prepared for the assignment.
We are grateful to Mr. President for not only giving us a minister, but giving us a minister in a strategic ministry. He has been prepared for leadership. So we expect him to do well.
He's our brother, he's our leader. We will continue to support him to succeed.
The Keremo community and the entire Keremo local government and the entire Bayelsa is solemnly behind him.
I do believe that with the support that stakeholders have given to him and all that, they will have no choice but to succeed.
We are very grateful to President Tinubu.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Senator Lokbobri, who was literally overwhelmed by his people's show of love, goodwill, and loyalty, promised to make them proud by giving his level best to deliver the mandate of his office, which is critical to the success of the renewed Uber agenda of President Tinubu's administration.
I didn't know that they were going to be doing something like this. If I had known, I would have invited my colleagues and friends, but I didn't. I only came up to spend the new year with them, only to be received in this manner. I want to thank them for putting this together, and I also told them that they are owing the president a debt which they will repay in 2027.
The minister on arrival was earlier received in the palace of the Mananowe of a Keremo kingdom, King Agbodogba Simo, and his council of chiefs, who offered him royal blessings.
Cultural diversity and different ways we celebrate. Now, talking about celebrations and making plans and targets on how to achieve certain goals after all the celebrations. Now, every year, many people make resolutions at the start of the year to set and attain goals based on personal convictions. Many times, these resolutions can be tempting and hard to keep. And for some people, it's just one of those annual rituals religiously indulged. Correspondent Etieno Ibanga is set to tell us how people in Uyo make resolutions for the new year and how these resolutions can be kept.
The anticipated year 2024 is here, and as it gradually unfolds, it is expected to birth many dreams in all spheres of life. At the start of the year, Nigerians from all walks of life join millions around the world to usher in the year with high expectations to better their lots with the age-long tradition of New Year resolutions that are supposed to define the year and achieve aspirations. For a cross-section of people in Uyo, they are optimistic of a better year.
One of my New Year resolutions is for me to try to do some saving to enable me meet up with high cost of living.
First of all, I'm finishing school this year, so that's one of the major things for me. And then secondly, I'll be starting my business this year, by God's grace.
Many people make groups or individual resolutions aim at meeting various targets. However, New Year resolutions have different meanings to different people.
A New Year resolution is what you, within you, think you can achieve in a new year when you leave the past year into the new year.
The stock taking of your past and what you need to change over what you've been doing.
To others, making yearly resolutions without fulfilling them is meaningless.
Having been setting this rule over the years, I have not been able, I have not had the will to implement these rules. So I do not see any wisdom continuing to do what I have, not been keeping.
Why do some people make New Year resolutions but end up not meeting the set goals?
Well, for you to keep to your resolution, you need to plan and follow your plans accordingly, and also pray that God should be on your side as you make that resolution. Because as humans, you can make the resolution, but you won't be able to keep to it.
Whatever resolution you make, depend on God, depend on His word. The word of God is very powerful.
and then you pray. Because sometimes people make resolution without prayers.
As the year 2024 unfolds, there are hopes that the resolutions made will uplift the individuals, Nigerians, and the country. In Uyo, Etienne Oibanga, NTA News.
Still on resolutions, beyond individuals deciding to note down new aspirations and working towards them, institutions, organizations, and corporate bodies also make resolutions intended to serve as guiding principles for actualizing targets for the new year. The crucial question, which we always ask, is how feasible are these resolutions? Amakowo brings divergent views from respondents on the subject matter.
Year 2023 is now counted in the past, with the new year counting as the days go by. For many, it is considered a time for new beginnings and life-changing decisions, including the motivation to leave behind bad habits.
Happy New Year!
As this relates to New Year resolutions, I sought the views of some respondents to know if they truly understand what is involved in the common practice of making New Year resolutions.
New Year resolution to me is thinking about me having a good living of life, doing a better thing for myself, let my life be comfortable.
If there's any resolution I have, is to jackpot. But I just want to wake up every day, get better at what I do, and either improve on everything, on my qualities.
New Year resolution is you deciding of what you want in the year 2024.
For some others who failed to live up to resolutions they made in the previous year, they are not keen on making any in year 2024.
If you get money, if you don't get money, what even resolution? That word, I don't know, it's forgotten.
These respondents give reasons for some of the New Year resolutions they have made to guide them through the year.
Let me be able to start something doing for myself, stop working for somebody, so that at least I will have time for my family, have time for myself.
I want to live a gentle life, like I'm that kind of Razi girl. So I plan on being on my own, being my own boss, my own CEO, not working for anyone, no stress.
I will improve on my marketing and other strategies I've written down.
Listen to this mental health expert as she provides psychological insights into the essence of making New Year resolutions.
So now, while making resolutions for the new year, remember that your beliefs inspire your actions that affect your habits and build your identity. So those habits that you're trying to resolve, or that's to change or to form, they didn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and consistency. I encourage you to get accountable and don't depend on the motivation of the new year alone, but a system of discipline for consistent daily action.
Others believe regular self-evaluation is necessary if we must keep promises we have made to ourselves. And in line with the New Year resolution, the No Gree Anybody slogan is trending among netizens. Newsline hopes to bring an update on it subsequently.
Okay, personally, I stopped making resolutions a long time ago because it's easy to make, but ensuring that you see them through is a story for another day. We'll take some messages. Newsline will continue. Welcome back. Now time for tea. Tea, they say, makes everything better. This likely explains why some can't do without it. And if you want to know people that are so passionate about tea, go to Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Now, Zainab Adam in this report captures the unique exploit of a tea vendor steaming up the tea craze in the town.
Where there is tea, there is hope. This perhaps is the hidden wisdom behind the ever-presence of these tea flags and cups in almost every gathering or joint around Maiduguri metropolis. Inside these flags is black and green tea made from rich spices such as ginger, cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, star anise, and coffee, among others. The tea varieties, which are in different flavors, are mostly consumed by different age groups to keep them warm and refreshed.
We enjoy the tea so much. This tea truly refreshes a person's body and you'll drive without feeling any fatigue. This tea is called ginger tea and it cures cold and catarrh.
To tea sellers, the business is a booming one in all season.
We use different spices that are beneficial to the human body in making our tea. Tea business helps us to sustain our lives. And
Adamu Ajigaro, a Fulani tea vendor from Yobe State, has scaled up the tea selling business with a tilt of passion and ingenuity. He invented a bicycle, which he uses to sell his spicy tea for the past 4 years. He had used the bicycle to tour the northeast Nigeria, selling tea, which catches the attention of many tea consumers in a unique way.
I make use of kettle to hawk any tea, but I later thought of improvising a means that will be easier and captivating for people. So I bought a bicycle and spent 2 weeks to remodel it for this purpose.
Newsline gathered that Adamu Ajigaro has earlier invented a mini helicopter, which he used to sell the tea in Numan, Adamawa State, and wished to do more if given financial and technical support. An expert comments on the health benefit of taking the spice tea.
Spicy tea is very, very helpful, and it's encouraged that people should drink spicy tea, especially when going to bed, because some of these spices like ginger, cinnamon, turmeric, and they can help regulate sleep. They can, if you are sleepless, if you have insomnia, you can drink this spicy tea and you can have a very peaceful sleep.
Beyond the nutritional value of taking this spice tea, its moderate consumption keeps the consumer warm in this cold season. And for the tea seller, it's both a matter of business and passion as well.
Thank you, Zainab. Now, tea is certainly part of the culture of the people of Maiduguri. Now, still on culture, we take a showcase to Ebonyi State. Now, culture is a way of life and one of the greatest factors in creating identity, and it's often expressed through language, clothing, food, and various events. The uniqueness of some cultural activities in Ebonyi State is currently being harnessed as a tool for peace and unity. Caleb Ogbonna has the sights and sounds of one of such cultural displays in Ebonyi State.
One of the 6 federal constituencies of Ebonyi State is part of the southern part of the state, carved out of the old Imo and Abia states. People with similar historical lineage and culture little wonder the commemoration of the annual Ohanivo Cultural Day. Inculcating the spirit of oneness and showcasing the values inherent in their cultural heritage, with the aim of establishing a society driven by virtues, resonated at the cultural carnival.
It's uniting us together, for we to come together to know our culture, and with this, it gives us unity. And when you give unity, there is peace. And when there is peace, there is joy.
For stakeholders, culture, beyond being the lifeblood of any thriving society, is a mirror to the past and future.
With this, we showcase to the world what we have. Without your culture, you are nothing. By this, we are reawakening our cultural heritage. It's going to help us and our unyet born, even our unyet born.
Is that this is actually going to harmonize the people of Ohanivo, bring them together. Because when they come together, that's when they can make progress.
Although with the blend of modernity, the Ohanivo Unity Carnival, which had the exhibition of cultures from the area, climaxed with the recognition of deserving personalities for their meritorious services to humanity.
Culture is indeed a unifying factor. Now, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriation, Honorable Senator Adeola Olamilekan wants Nigerians to keep hope alive as government is mapping out strategies for improved economic development. The senator was speaking at a New Year party organized for his constituents in Ogun West Senatorial District of Ogun State. Lekon Agbonde was at the party and has highlights for us.
There is no better way to usher in the new year than giving thanks to God amidst pomp and pageantry. This is what played out as the senator representing Ogun West Senatorial District at the Red Chamber, Senator Olamilekan Adeola Yayi, hosted a befitting New Year celebration. The roll call of dignitaries includes the Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Ishak Salako, the wife of the Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, federal and state lawmakers from Ogun State, past and serving political appointees, APC bigwigs, traditional rulers, local government chairmen, captains of industries, among others. The New Year reception party was held at the country home of the Chairman Senate Committee on Appropriation, Senator Yayi. While appreciating members of his constituency for believing in him, Senator Yayi assured them of unprecedented representation as he has kicked the ball rolling with series of projects in Ogun West.
What a way to start a year. Thanking God, appreciating your people who have stood solidly behind you.
He also affirmed the commitment of President Bola Tinubu to an improved economy in Nigeria with the signing into law of the 2024 appropriation bill of 28.7 trillion naira by the president.
We now have a 28.7 trillion naira appropriation bill, and out of which agricultural alone is taking over 300 billion naira. And what that simply means is that the government of the day is determined to end hunger in the country.
On his part, the Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Ishak Salako, who is also from Ogun West, noted that Nigerians should be hopeful for an improved standard of living in the new year.
In Nigeria, where people are more comfortable than we are currently, in Nigeria, where the standard of living of Nigerians is improved, where there's better healthcare services, where the environmental sector is topmost in the agenda.
The New Year get-together, organized by Senator Olamilekan Yayi, is a force to be hosted by him as a senator representing Ogun West Senatorial District.
Way to go to wedding bells. It was a memorable day for the family of Shitu Abdul Karim in Katsina State as hundreds of friends and well-wishers converged on the ancient city to rejoice with him as he gave out two of his daughters in marriage. The wedding was attended by personalities including the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris Malagi. Awal Haliru captured the event for Newsline.
Fataha was held at Bilal bin Rabah Mosque, Katsina, which was presided over by the Chief Imam Abdullahi Filan Samji. After the payment of 200,000 naira each as dowry and the fulfillment of other marriage contractual agreement, Dr. Farida Shitu Abdul Karim and Dr. Sanusi Garbarimi, as well as Dr. Mufida Shitu Abdul Karim and architect Abdullahi Lawal Alti, were pronounced husband and wife. Guests to the event were hosted to a befitting reception by the bride's family. Friends, relatives, and other well-wishers prayed for the couple to have a peaceful married life.
My advice to them is that they should adhere to the tenets of Islam. They should also obey all the rules and regulations of their guy's marriage. Marriage is a very, very serious institution. We do hope and we pray that by Allah's grace, they will all find solace.
They should be close to each other, maintain good relationship, because marriage is one of the religious obligations. So we expect them to live in harmony, understand each other, and advise each other.
Now, next is the wedding fatia of the governorship candidate of PDP in the 2023 general elections in Kaduna State, Isa Ashiru Kudan, and her groom, Shehu Abubakar Bello. The bride is also the daughter of the second Bai of Zazo, Lawal Saliu Inuwa, who was at the grand event, said personalities from all walks of life, including former governor of Sokoto, Gombe, and Jigawa states, as well as other members of the National Assembly, graced the occasion.
The first impression of a stranger with the crowd is political gathering that combats on the palace of Kudan district hate. But with the glass of traditional tattoo holders and business community, the first impression will be shattered. The reason for the gathering of these personalities and creme de la creme was in honor of the invitation of the second Bai of Zazzau Isa Ashiru Kudan, who gave out his daughter Saadatu in marriage to her groom Shehu. The wedding fatia was conducted after the payment of 200,000 naira story to the representative of the bride, the former governor of Jigawa State, Sula Lamido. The gathering served as an avenue for reunion between the people of Gombe and that of Kaduna State, as parents from both parties advised the couple to be tolerant and good ambassadors of the two families.
My advice to the bride and the groom is to make sure that they don't have any problem for whatsoever. They have to tolerate one another, to uphold the teaching and practice of our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Of course, vis-a-vis the provision of Quran in respect of marriage affairs.
My advice to the bride and the bridegroom is one all the time, to be patient with one another, to be faithful to one another, and to respect one another's view.
When you talk of marriage on Islamic rights, it is an agreement between the two partners that they live under the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we believe that they have all been trained on that.
To God be the glory, and I remain eternally grateful to God Almighty for all that He has done. It will remain memorable in my life till the end of my time. And I want to appreciate all those that have created time to attend this memorable occasion. And even those that were not here, I'm sure the prayers they have offered, I have seen it today.
Colorful reception was organized by the father of the bride, second Bai of Zazzau Isa Ashiru Kudan, to honor friends and well wishes.
Wish them bliss forever. Now to take our last round of commercials, Newsline will be right. Contrary, it raises concerns. The shocking video of a 4-year-old child in Bayelsa State who was allegedly given out in marriage to a 54-year-old man has raised concerns and sparked public outrage. And you know Newsline can't let a story like that slide. So our correspondent, Ebinimi Zitimiliola, who is on the case, has an update including the story behind the story.
A video went viral across the internet of a 4-year-old minor who reportedly married a 54-year-old man in Akede community in Sagbama local government area of Bayelsa State. The conduct was widely condemned for being repugnant, offensive to public morals, and therefore should not have a place in civilized society. When Newsline crew began to investigate the veracity of the story, the findings were shocking and revealing at the same time. It was gathered that the 4-year-old was said to have existed in a former life where she, as a maiden, was betrothed to the same man, until they were unfortunately separated by death.
The reason for her committing suicide is that she wants to go and reunite with her lover on the other side of the world. But unfortunately, it seems that reunion didn't take place. So she had been coming and going. You remember the poem of J.P. Clark, Abiku, coming and going this several seasons.
It was in this circumstance that findings came to the fore that to save a life, it is a compelling necessity that a symbolic marriage ceremony called Korpamo is performed and a token is presented to redeem her. The practice, according to devotees, is part of an ancient Ejo culture and spirituality for a girl or male child who falls sick and dies after birth and returns to be given birth to again.
The man who's said to be the husband of that child is not the real husband, but try to confirm the whole child, the child, to the old age.
The girl, when she grows up to the age of marriage, can actually marry anybody of her choice. And so there's no attachment. All of that was done. We only talk about the level of celebration that accompanied it.
My daughter told me that for her to stay alive, we have to perform a symbolic marriage.
If I not do this thing before this girl dies, it's for my head. So from there now, okay, if not so, no problem, I will pay you.
Could this be a myth or story just made up? Well, I decided to dig deeper into other cultural belief systems and found something similar in Abiku in Yorubas and Ogbanje in Igbos, meaning a spirit child who died young and was reborn. Having established this, I went further to other faith beliefs.
The truth is that there is nothing like reincarnation in the Christian sector. In the Bible, it has never happened.
In Islam, we do not hold the view that there is a reincarnation. It is the work of the jinns.
Gender-based civil society groups, professional bodies, and government representatives also met on the matter.
From what we have heard from both parties, we are confident that the rights of the child has not been violated and will not be violated. Our eyes open to ensure that these issues do not translate into, something criminal aside the cultural practices that they have spoken about.
The Bayelsa State government has promised to be thorough in its findings as the public awaits a formal report.
I'm lost for words, okay? I don't even know what to say. But we're following the case and we'll keep you posted. Now, what do you do with your waste polythene bags? Do you know if there are other uses for it? What of your banana trunks? Well, after watching this story, I hope you'll have a rethink and begin to recycle these wastes available on almost all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria to create wealth for yourself. Momso Damian Dati is a guide.
It was the Global Day of the Child, and I followed the Minister of Women Affairs to Technical College Gorky 3 to commemorate today. While surveying the environment, my attention was drawn to a young student who was carrying a bag full of used polythene bags. I expected him to trash or set them on fire, but he rather did something different. I watched him head to a special room to drop them with utmost care. My inquisitive mind wouldn't let me keep mute, so I asked why.
Female students think that they cannot be engineers. They're only going for the little courses, like courses that they feel like are easier. But being an engineer is very fun actually, because of you challenge yourself, you take to the task. For example, in refrigerator air conditioning now, if I see at home that my refrigerator is suddenly not working, now I'm taking to the task of finding out what the problem is.
Those used polythene bags you and I throw away are what these youngsters have converted to these beautiful and useful products.
Composite floor and water is made from plastic waste.
As we know, waste plastic is one of the most common wastes in our environment. And when these wastes are being kept and they are being burnt openly, they causes global warming, resulting to climate change. These low carbon pavement blocks have so many benefits. It does not absorb water because plastic, as we know, does not absorb water.
After putting the waste plastic into the reactor and it's being mounted on the heat source, then the plastic starts breaking into monomers, whereby the lighter vapor condenses here as the liquid form, while the lighter vapor is being trapped into a recycle tube and is being used as our combustible cooking gas.
While trying to assimilate the benefits of this discovery, my attention was yet again caught by another jaw-dropping display.
Production of this laminated sheet and this brick, we made use of waste banana trunk, we made use of shredded rags, low-dense polyethylene bags, kaolin, and organic resin, specifically from baobab tree. Once we convert this waste banana trunk into banana fibers, we soak them and boil them. Once we get them, we mix thoroughly to form a smooth composite.
A banana trunk? This is amazing.
My project is on converting waste banana trunks into reusable sanitary pads, which are very affordable and cheap to produce. Harvesting of the banana trunks, then we extract the water content. After extracting, we then shred them. After shredding, we treat them with our treating agent, which is palm bunch ash solution, and then we boil them to remove gums and lecithins in the fiber. And when they are dried, we cut them into specifications for both heavy and light flow.
Converting plastic bottles into beautiful jewelries. Plastic bottle is one of the major pollutants in Nigeria, and we can do some different things to reduce it in our environment by converting it into beautiful jewelries.
From one stand to another, with the students eloquently speaking on how the innovations came about. Another one that intrigued me again was the conversion of these empty plastic bottles to a chair. Yours sincerely couldn't help but try sitting on it to be sure it's real.
Now, there's a saying that waste is not waste until you waste it. So don't think of wasting. There are other uses that can fetch you money. Now to style. The human head is home to all the body's major sensory organs. The hair is said to protect the scalp and regulate body heat. Now, taking a look at men and haircuts, what significance do they attach to their look? Well, Abdullahi Ajia in this report tells us something about haircuts and their connotations.
Good looks on an individual, no doubt, gives an aura of confidence, especially when stepping out or in a public gathering. Haircuts and different styles have existed from time immemorial, from generation to generation, that men carry. Although not too many people pay attention to the meaning and reasons for carrying a particular haircut or style, some are, however, conscious of their haircuts.
It all depends on your hairstyle and the shape of your head. Like my own now, I can't carry an afro because of the shape of my head. So I think different hairstyle goes for different kinds of hairline.
The way those boys do their own, I don't do my own like that. Just scrape everything, as an entity, so that I will look neat.
Our parents, they feel if we keep hair like this, it's not decent. And then when it's low cut, they feel you look neat and decent. But honestly, we teenagers that make this kind of hairstyle, we don't have any reasons.
Observatory research shows that age and time are determining factors that influence the choice of a particular haircut that people carry. For instance, the old school or older generation may go with the low cuts. The younger generation in their youthful exuberance may go with the dread, punk, afro, among others.
I was born with it at the time I cut it off. So every time I try to sleep, or when you sleep in the night, I wake up and see that the whole thing is locked back.
I'm carrying side fade now. Before I'm carrying round cut, like side fade, like only here. This is what called side fade.
Apart from age and season that usually informs the choice of style individuals carry, certain vocations or professions are also identified with certain haircuts, such as sports and music, and sometimes religious or cultural settings, even celebrities.
I keep the hair because there are some times when I run with the ball. I like the way the hair flip, like up and down.
This slight cut. I have a mentor in football. It's Arturo Vidal, and the other person is Balotelli. And again, this is my identity.
For whatever reason you choose your hairstyle today, remember that people and society have their judgment and perception of it.
Your hairstyle, to some extent, it portrays the kind of person you are, and then it portrays how people are going to take you.
Well, different strokes for different folks, you would say. But at the end of the day, I've learned about the different hairstyles, the afro, the punk, the local, the three styles. Yours sincerely decided to go with a three-step to see how it looks. So, a clean, simple and neat coat will suffice to leave a positive impression.
Well, in choosing a hairstyle, just be careful not to wear one that will make you look scary, particularly if you're going for a job interview. Very important. Now, from hairstyles to names. Names are usually given to an individual at birth for easy identification. But besides being a means of identification, what is there to a name? This is one question Anya Prezi takes to the street, and he tried to get answers.
The name my parents called me is Oyinimebi. That is the benefit of knowing God.
What is in a name? That which is called arose by any other name will smell as sweet. This classical quote from Romeo and Juliet, a tragic comedy by a 17th century literary giant, William Shakespeare, sees nothing so significant about name beyond a conventional means of identifying one person or thing from another. However, there are a good number of people that are not on the same page with Shakespeare's position of name and its significance. Many believe that a name is not just a conventional means of identification, but an echo of the bearer's character or personality. Thus, a negative name, according to their belief, generates vibes that have adverse effects on the bearer.
Identity, I mean, if you are going on a road and somebody call your name, you must turn. Is it not true? Yes, so as spiritually, if your name is evil, there's evil spirit that follows that name.
That to personally change the names of some persons. For example, Abraham was Abram, and God changed him to Abraham. Names are the way of affecting an individual, either positively or negatively.
Your name goes a long way to tell people who you truly are. Like Jacob. Jacob was called, the meaning of his name is subtleness. So he was able to deceive his own brother and took his birthright from him. Until his name was changed, he was being deceived by his own uncle. So his own name affected him.
If that is so, why are there so many in this side of the globe with great and beautiful names, yet their lives are far from the great names they bear, while in the other side of the world, people with names like Bush and Fish, among others, are pretty doing great? What then is the place of name in the lives of such persons? Observers comment.
And one thing is to walk towards the good name. So you might bear a good name, and if you live a bad life, it will rather affect you. So it is one thing to bear a good name, then walk towards it.
The individual too has a role to play. There are other factors that contribute to the outcome of an individual's character. So if that person does not put all those things in place, the person might answer a very good name and still end up very bad.
Just that because you are blessing, just sit down and blessing. No, you have to work your salvation, out.
While the propriety of bearing great and decent names cannot be questioned, and it is also uninspiring to bear names like Jezebel and Demon, among others, observers say it is possible for someone to be called Angel or Abraham and still not exhibit those qualities if they are not disciplined, focused, and dedicated.
In Nigeria and even in Africa, I think we're very intentional with names. Okay, so people don't just give names. Imagine if your parents, for instance, give you a name like Mugbomoya in Yoruba, which means gate crasher. Imagine how people will look at you when they see you. So we're very intentional with names. Now, on that note, we end Newsline for this Sunday. Thank you for being a part of it. Join us again Sunday next week for another edition. Good night and God bless Nigeria.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
The population of Abuja is so much
that I believe that in the next 20 years, there will be population explosion.
Naturally, herders are not bad people, but it's because of this climate change that is making them to look as if they are bad. So when they are looking for daily bread for their cows, they have to find something for them to eat.
Global warming is a global warning that it is a time for climate action for everybody. Nigeria should be in the forefront.
Where there is willful breach, there should be a commensurate sanction.
Let's get our mindsets right. Once your mindset is right, you will know what's important and what's not important.